Oleg, have you brushed your fangs? Ayana, have you got your gym jams on? Sergey, why are you all wet?
You said bath time before story time, Mr. Alexander.
No, Sergey, for the pups. For the pups, not for you.
They pulled me in.
What, again? That's 3 times.
Okay, well, it looks like they're ready for a story. Is everyone cozy? Comfortable? Snuggly as bug in fine Persian carpet. Then let us begin. Big Beetle, Bert, and the hot air balloon.
Big Beetle Bert was an adventurous bug. One morning he looked from his nest with a shrug. I wonder what's out there for me to explore. Goodbye, Mom, he shouted as he opened the door. Excuse me, young man, came a voice from behind. His mom in the hallway, her face stern but kind. By all means go out, but come back safe and sound. And whatever you do, keep your feet on the ground. By now, the commotion had woken Bert's dad. He said, Dearest Bert, my adventurous lad, we beetles are scuttlers. We burrow the best. So wherever you go, don't go far from the nest. With a hug from his mum, Bert stepped onto the sand. The morning dew cool in the still sleeping land. As the sun gently nuzzled the drowsy savannah, to his parents he turned and waved an antenna. Then Bert was alone, with the world at his feet. He scanned the horizon, wondered who he would meet. As the sun shone her rays on the wide dusty land, she lit up the grass and warmed up the sand. Bert saw a giraffe with his head in a tree. So he stopped and he looked up and asked politely, What are you doing with your head right up there, rustling the treetops in the still morning air?
I hear you, young Beetle,
came a voice from up high. The giraffe peering down with a wink and a smile.
I'll tell you, young Bert, we giraffes all believe you can't beat a breakfast of acacia leaves.
Bert beetled on as the morning grew warm, till he stopped by an elephant calf and her mum. Gosh, he said, standing here can't be much fun, with no clouds to protect you from the baking hot sun. The elephants laughed.
What a thoughtful young fella. Our ears keep us cool like big beach umbrellas. If you're hot in your shell, young Bert, don't be dismayed. Just wait here a moment and rest in our shade.
Bert thanked the 2 elephants and went on his way. The savannah now shimmering in the heat of midday. From amongst the long grass, 2 small heads appeared, their eyes lighting up as Bert rustled near. I'm Oleg. I'm Ayana. Do you want to come play?
It's you two.
They both looked so friendly, Bert wanted to stay. They were furry young meerkats, mischievous pups. But then Bert remembered meerkats like to eat bugs. The meerkats were boisterous. They played rough and tumble.
They do.
Bert swore he could hear their tums start to rumble. So scuttled off swiftly, alarmed by the sound. But the rumble was rising from the trembling ground. The rumble grew louder. Bert looked up in fear as a herd of horned creatures was thundering near. One shouted, "We're wildebeest, sometimes known as gnu. Take care, little Beetle, that we don't tread on you." Beetle Bert was alarmed, so he scurried and ran, then burrowed right under a rope in the sand. My goodness, he thought. That was close. That was near. As long as this rope stays, I will be safe here. Then, to Bert's amazement, it started to move. But he tightly clung on to avoid any hooves. He gripped and then gasped when he opened his eyes. The rope he was holding had started to rise. Bert looked up. The sky blue in the warm afternoon, and he saw he was dangling from a hot air balloon. His feet were now far, far, far from the ground. Rising steadily higher, he glanced nervously round. From his rope in the sky, it was like nothing he'd seen. The highest up beetle that ever had been. Below was a sight he could hardly believe. The savannah stretched out like a great golden sea. The balloon gently sailed over grassland and trees. The giraffe having dinner of acacia leaves, the elephants raising their trunks and their tusks, as the meerkats and wildebeest roamed in the dusk. As the cool of the evening swept over the ground, Bert's balloon drifted lower and softly touched down. He let go of the rope, his feet back on the sand, relieved to return where his journey began. He scuttled back into the family nest. "How was your adventure?" his mom and dad asked. "I'll tell you about it tomorrow," Bert said as he yawned. It was almost time for his bed. Bert's mom tucked him in, and she kissed his forehead. She switched off the light, and he sleepily said, "You know, it's incredible what can be found while you're trying to keep your feet on the ground."
Look, Mr. Alexander, I think they're finally asleep.
Oh, so cute. But if they wake up, you're on put back to bed duty, Sergey.
Oh,
Night, night, little Oleg.
sweet dreams, Ayana.
While our little pups are all settled down in the land of Nod, you can find out how to get your paws on your own limited edition Sleepy Oleg toy by going to the Compare the Market website before the 14th of December. For even more adventures, please search Sleepy Oleg Bedtime Stories on the Meerkat YouTubes or Compare the Market website. Right now, I think it might be my bedtime. Good night.